Alright folks, first of all thanks for giving me a couple of minutes of your time. I just wanted to share with you some of the techniques and methods that I use to be able to keep lifting heavy, I would say above average heavy, even for like young people as we get in our 50s, late 50s, 60s, whatever, without the use of a lot of drugs, obviously, because I'm a big advocate of minimalism in every way. Obviously not in training, but just in that area of things. But getting back to the point, we all know that basic exercises, squat, bench press, deadlifts, build the most muscle. That's really can't be argued with, obviously, especially when you're talking about bone density and all the rest of it. But it's not written in stone anywhere where it has to be done every week, right? The same lift repetitively done every week. Because they cause such a lot of stress, especially as we get older, doing them every week, just the basic barbell conventional lifts, will lead to overuse, tendonitis, soft tissue problems. That's without a doubt, because you're not getting any variation. The weak points that you have will always be weak points, right, on them lifts. So the best method, and this method also allows you to do extracurricular activity on the weeks where you're doing less compressive lifts. Extracurricular activity to me means you might want to do another sport like mixed martial arts, you might want to box, you might want to do judo, CrossFit, whatever it is that you want to do. If you're limping about tired and sore all the time, you're not going to want to move off the couch. Obviously soreness is part of training to some extent, but the methods I use are, for example, I would do a compressive lift, say a week one of the rotation. Say we take lower body, we do a barbell squat, Olympic barbell, not a safety squat, Olympic barbell squat, not to a box, just a squat. Keep it to like a rate of perceived exertion of about 7, so you're not killing yourself, the bar's still moving pretty quick. Then that's the figure you'd put, you'd make a note of that. Do your accessory work, perhaps that might be belt squats afterwards, glute ham raises, that type of thing. Then the next week do for example a good morning with a safety squat bar for repetitions, then do belt squats afterwards, because those are less compressive lifts, you recover better, and on that week you can do more of your extracurricular activity, your fitness stuff if you like, because as we get older, I'm a big believer in being fit in like a cardiovascular sense, which heavy weightlifting just won't give you, whether you like it or not. You just won't do it. And if you're a lifter that carries a lot of mass, it's problematic as you get into your 50s when you're like overweight considerably for your height. But perhaps the week after that, getting back to the training routine, the week after that you might do a speed deadlift, right, with bands or just straight weight. Again, don't grind, move an RPE 7, rate of perceived exertion 7 on the scale of 1 to 10. A 7, move the bar as fast as you can, trail off with your accessories, perhaps belt squats again, glute ham raises, etc. The fourth week, pick something like a box squat with a safety squat back, with a very low box, 10 or 11 inch box, rate of perceived exertion 7, max out on that at that level of exertion, move the bar quick, right, do your accessory work afterwards. Then on the week after that, go back to the actual free barbell squat. And because you're addressing, hopefully you're addressing the weak areas in that lift, when you're testing the basic barbell squat, you could get stronger, and you haven't actually hammered that lift over and over again, and you haven't hammered your recovery, and you're not walking about all banged up and stiff. Because what I see in a lot of over 50s, especially people who would just want to do it, they aren't competitive, they aren't taking drugs, just want to be as strong and as fit as they can. They think that they can't do it because they can't see outside that very narrow box of squat, bench, deadlift. I mean, I've done this for a few years. I've trained for 37, 38 years, but I've done this form of training for about, as long as I've been on YouTube, which isn't that long, maybe 6 or 7 years. But what I've learned is if I hadn't trained this way, if I just did the minimalist basics like what I did when I first caught onto this, I wouldn't be able to like, spar 2-minute rounds for up to 10 rounds and then a couple of days later go and bench press heavy, because I would be doing the same lifts in the gym, the heavy weights, which would just wear me out. So you've got to use it's called the conjugate method. It's a conjugate method, what I'm explaining here. you don't grind weight. You can do, but it'll catch up to you later in the week because you'll just feel stiff and beat up. And when you're doing your extracurricular activity, which is very important, you could actually end up getting injured and get little niggles because you've got the more things you do in your routine, the more control and the more thought you've got to put into it, because it can catch up with you because of accumulated fatigue. But like I say, you can throw Zercher squats in for a lower body, which can actually make you stronger overall, but they don't knock it out of your body, right? It's quite simple when you think about it. If it wasn't simple, I wouldn't be able to do it, right? So, I mean, that's the method that I use to be able to do extra stuff. I mean, it is difficult doing extra stuff, but to me, the rewards in fitness are well worth it, because I do think that, whilst people like to sort of harp on about the golden era, in the 50s and the 60s before widespread use of anabolics occurred, and the guys in that era used to do exactly that. They weren't one-dimensional people who just lifted weights. They did a lot of other things like acrobatics and hand balancing and things like that. Other sports. It's well known if you look into it. So this is what I'm putting to you. Rather than just be one-dimensional, there is ways around it. You don't have to just do weights, right? So I hope you've got something out of it. And if I've explained it inadequately, just leave a comment and I'll try and make it a bit more clear for you. But I'm sure it will help, to be honest, definitely. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Until next time, thanks very much.